Several years ago, there was a kerfuffle in the worship community over this hymn, Come Thou Fount. And the discussion was on the theological accuracy of the line, prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. And with the young, restless, and Reformed movement in full swing, the debate was whether Reformed theology supported singing that line in light of the doctrine of the perseverance of the saints, or perhaps once saved, always saved. I think perhaps that discussion missed the point of Robinson's lyrics here. His point was that without God's help, his heart was prone to wander, and that certainly was the case in his life. Robert Robinson was saved after going to a George Whitefield sermon in 1752, and in the sermon, Whitefield had declared, "Oh, my hearers, the wrath's to come, the wrath's to come." And those words haunted Robinson until he was saved 3 years later in 1755. And the Lord led Robinson to become a preacher and hymn writer, of which this hymn is one. However, Robinson's life was marked with struggles against the flesh. Indeed, at one point in his life, he had wandered away from the faith, and on a train ride, he was talking with a woman on the train who'd been reading a collection of hymns. And the woman shared with him a hymn that she had been reading and asked what he thought of it. In weeping, Robinson replied to her, "I am the man who wrote that hymn many years ago. I'd give anything to experience the joy I knew then." The woman reminded him that the streams of mercy he wrote about in his hymn still flowed. Robinson's heart was moved, and he returned to full fellowship with the Lord. So, to the critics of this hymn decade ago, I would say that these verses are not only true, but in light of Robinson's story, are a wonderful illustration of how God works to preserve those who saves. However, just in case there is still confusion, Bob Kauflin added a fourth verse to this hymn that we sing today. Oh, and before we sing this hymn, I want to visit the second verse. So if you take a look at some modern hymnals, you'll find the second verse says, "Hitherto thy love has blessed me, thou hast brought me to this place." Those are not the original words, as those original words require a little bit of explanation. But I feel that the meaning is worth the explanation. So when I engraved this hymn, I returned it to the original. "Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come." In the Bible, Samuel raised an Ebenezer as a stone to remember God's help. 1 Samuel 7, 9 through 13 says, "Then Samuel took a young lamb and offered it as a whole burnt offering to the Lord. He cried out to the Lord on behalf of Israel, and the Lord answered him." Samuel was offering the burnt offering as the Philistines approached to fight against Israel. The Lord thundered loudly against the Philistines that day and threw them into such a confusion that they were defeated by Israel. Then the men of Israel charged out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines, striking them down all the way to a place below Bethkar. Afterward, Samuel took a stone and set it upright between Mizpah and Shen. He named it Ebenezer, explaining, "The Lord has helped us to this point." So the Philistines were subdued and did not invade Israel's territory again. The Lord's hand was against the Philistines all of Samuel's life. Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God. He to rescue me from danger interposed his precious blood. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter, bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Oh, that day when freed from sinning, I shall see thy lovely face, full arrayed in blood-washed linen. How I'll sing thy sovereign grace. Come, my Lord, no longer dead.